Hello friends, and welcome to day 3 of the 12 days of Bookmas. If you're like me and you're in the middle of a 1,000,001 series and you really wish that there was a way that you could tackle your TBR for that, keep watching this video. Hello friends, it's Rainy, back with a very exciting announcement, okay? So I've been seeing, these different reading challenges going around, like 25 and 25 and a horror bingo and all of these things. And I was like, how come nobody has done one for series yet? Because I don't know about you, but especially when you're a romantasy and fantasy girly, you probably start series all the time. Do you ever finish them though? Because I know that I don't. And we just saw a video where I literally take you through the 80 series that I'm currently in the middle of. So like, obviously I designed this challenge more for me than for anybody else. But that is why I bring to you the series takedown reading challenge, okay? And yes, we are doing a lovely bingo board moment because bingo boards are all the rage, but I did a 4 in a row instead of 5 in a row bingo, okay? How is it going to work? This bingo board is going to take place through all of 2025, from January 1st to December 31st. You have an entire year to fill this bad boy out. You can fill it out by just getting 4 in a row vertically, horizontally, diagonally. You can black out the whole board if you want. You can even repeat the board and do it multiple times if you really want to cut down on your series. But the goal of it is to ultimately try to tackle series, okay? So most of these prompts let you continue on with series that you are already currently in the middle of. There are 1 or 2 that recommend starting a series, but they're normally because it's a series that you think you're going to love, you've been wanting to get to, and you just haven't for some sort of reason. But the main goal is to try and get forward progress or continue series that you are currently already reading, okay? Now I'm very excited because I have some series on here that I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to actually finish these, and this is finally going to make me do that. So I will have graphics underneath here in case you want it for Instagram or you want it just for yourself so you can keep track as you go, okay? If you're going to be doing this challenge, of course I'm going to want to hear about it. I know I forgot to mention this earlier, but all genres are welcome, okay? So these are very generic prompts. A lot if you're a romance girly, if you're a historical fiction girly, if you're a thriller girly, if you're a romantasy girly, you can complete this series challenge. I want everybody to be able to knock down some series, okay? There will also be a Google Doc underneath this video explaining all of the rules and all of the prompts in case they're not clear, because some of them you don't really necessarily understand what they are because I couldn't fit all of the words onto the prompt. So there's a Google Doc explaining it all. And there also is, if you want to do a hard mode challenge, then this is what I recommend. I recommend not allowing rereads, not having any novellas unless you are doing the blackout board. Maybe you can only have 1 novella. Sticking to 1 genre only because all genres are welcome, and no swaps. The series that you choose initially are the series that you're stuck with reading for this bad boy, but that's only if you want hard mode. We'll break down the bingo one. I'm going to go through all of the prompts really, really quick, and then at the end, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do to fill out my bingo board, okay? So stick with me till the end, and with that, let's dive into this challenge. Okay, so in the top row, we have finish a series, which is exactly what it says. Finish a series. Read the last book in a series. Then we have intimidating series, which is starting or continuing on with a series that you have been putting off or avoiding because it's intimidating. Now, what does intimidating mean to you? It means it could be chunky books and they scare you. Or it's an emotionally damaging series and you just don't want to put yourself through the hurt and the pain again. Or you just love that series so much that you literally just don't want it to end and you just can't bring yourself to finish it out. And we have favorite author series, and that's also pretty self-explanatory. Start or continue on with a series from an author that you absolutely adore. And then read the second book in a series, pretty self-explanatory. If it's the second book, go and read it. Then we have the second row, which we're starting with questionable series. So you're either going to continue on with a series that you are reading that you're just not really sure if you want to continue. You're not sure if it was for you. You might have given the first book like a 3.5 star, and you're just not sure. So you're going to have to make a decision. You're going to either continue on with this series or you're going to DNF it, but you're going to do something about it. Then you have a series that you think you'll love, and this one does recommend starting a series that you just absolutely think you're going to love. You just know that it's for you. You've seen it and you go, oh, that's going to be a me book, but you've just been putting it off for some reason. No putting it off anymore. Time to dive in. Then we have dual or multi-POV series, and that's also self-explanatory. Start or continue on with a series that has dual POV or multi-POVs. And then 5-star rated series. So you're going to continue on with a series that you're already reading that you have given a book in that series 5 stars prior. Now, if you're like, I don't really rate my books, then think of a book that you would have given 5 stars to. Or a book that you absolutely loved, whether it just gives you like all the best vibes in the world, whatever it is. Then we're moving on to the third row, and we're starting with friend series rec, and it is exactly what it says. You can either start or continue a series that was recommended to you by a friend. And if you don't have a friend to recommend to you, then go watch a bunch of my videos. I will post some videos under here of book recs of like enemies to lovers, my favorite romantasy books, all the things. I will be your friend. Then we have series catch up, and it's catching up on a series that is not completed yet, but catching up to the final book that is out. So if it's a 4-book series and book 3 is out, but book 4 hasn't come out yet, read book 3. Then we have BIPOC author series, and you're going to start or continue a series that was written by a BIPOC author. And then we have series influenced by, which is starting or continuing a series that you were influenced to buy either by a booktuber, a book talker, a family member, a friend, your principal, I don't know, whoever recommended you a book that you just were so excited and influenced by, and you saw it and went, oh, I have to have that series. And then ending with our final row, our 4th row, we have pretty cover series, and you're going to either start or continue a series that has a pretty cover. I know I am a pretty cover stan, so that's pretty easy for me. Then we have TBR veteran series, and you're going to either start or continue a series that has been on your TBR for a very long time. Like, you're getting frustrated that it's still on your TBR. Then we have self or indie published, and that's pretty self-explanatory as well. Either start or continue a series that is self-published or indie published. If it's getting traditionally published and it's not yet, then sure, that works as well. And then finally, rep series. And so you're going to start or continue a series that has some sort of representation in it, and I gave a couple examples like LGBTQ+, anxiety, mental health, a disability. It doesn't matter what it is, but it has some kind of representation in it. And that is the bingo board, friends. That's it. That's really all that there is to it, okay? So like I said, there's going to be a Google Doc underneath here, and there's going to be graphics and all of the things. Please make copies of them. Don't edit the actual document, or else we're all going to be screwed. But with that, I'm going to let you in on what books I'm going to be reading. Okay, so starting from top to bottom, for finish a series, because I'm going for Blackout. Finish a series, I'm going to read Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig, because I read One Dark Window this year, and it's one of my favorite books, probably of the year. Did I read it this year, or did I read it last year? I can't even remember. Either way, I haven't finished it, and yes, this is the Barnes & Noble Special Edition. It's very pretty, and so I need to prioritize this, and then I'll knock off a duology. For my intimidating series, I'm going with a chunker. Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee. I have been putting this series off for 3 years now. I read Jade City and Jade Legacy for a readathon, or a read-along, and I would read in January, one in February, and I just didn't get to this bad boy because it's like 700 pages, and she loves breaking people's hearts, and I didn't want to see these characters' journeys end, whether they die or whatever fate awaits them. But I need to freaking finish because I love this series. This is like my favorite fantasy series. What am I doing with my life? For favorite author series, this is kind of stretching it, but not really. I'm going to be reading Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent. The reason being is it's in the same world as the Crowns of Nyaxia series, which if you're new or live under a rock, then you wouldn't realize that that's my favorite series of all time. That's an entire shelf devoted to just this series. And this takes place in that world, and it's like recommended to read like after a certain book. And so I haven't read this yet. This is the only book that I haven't read yet. And so I'm going to count it as continuing on with a favorite author series. And then for second book in a series, I'm going to go with A Touch of Poison, which is actually the sequel to A Kiss of Iron, which I read by Claire Sager this year, and I absolutely loved that book. It is a really, really beautiful, fun Regency fantasy romance with a shadow daddy in it, like really say less. And it ended on such a cliffhanger that I don't know why I didn't continue on immediately, but I didn't. So I need to fix that. Questionable series, I don't know where it is on my shelves, so that lets you know that I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. I put Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. Now hear me out, friends. I did not love Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I gave it a 3-star. I don't really know what didn't work about it for me, but I didn't love it. But everybody says that Danny Brown is the best one. And so if that's true, I need to continue on and know if that is the truth, okay? I need to know. Okay, then for series that I think I'll love, I put This Woven Kingdom by Tahara Mafi, and yes, this is the Illumicrate edition. I only have book 1 because this was the first book that I got with Illumicrate, and then I didn't keep going, and I'm sad about it now, but it is what it is. Anyway, this is book 1. It is a YA fantasy romance that I have heard absolutely fan-freaking-tastic things about, and all I know is it says, clashing empires, forbidden romance, and a long-forgotten queen destined to save her people. You don't really have to say a lot more to get me to read this book. It looks very good. You have dual or multi-POV series, and I'm crazy that I'm doing this, but I'm putting the tandem read for Throne of Glass with Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms. If you look, it is already tabbed and ready to go. Me and Neva and Kelsey were supposed to read this in October, and then November, and then December, and we pushed it to January, okay? So I need to finish this, and it has multi-POV, and I just need to finish out this bad boys. And then for 5-star rating series, I'm going to go with The Ballad of Falling Dragons, which is the sequel to When the Moon Hatched, which is one of my favorite books of this year. Like, I'm freaking obsessed with that series. I love everything about it. I have 2 special editions of that series. The next one comes out in October of 2025, and I don't know if I'm mentally prepared for the goodness that is going to befall me. Then we have Friend series rec, and I'm going with Flame and Sparrow because my friend Sarah has been begging me and Katie to read it, and I don't remember if Katie read it yet or not, but I got the special signed alternate cover edition off of her Etsy because she does that, and I just absolutely needed it, and I need to get the second one, Ash and Feather, so that they match. But anyway, I don't know a lot about this either. It just says, on the eve of her 20th birthday, Karis woke to the sight of a divine creature dying outside her home, and 2 weeks later her sister disappeared, leaving nothing but a trail of blood in her wake. I don't know, but she's also going to be at Villains and Vixens next year, which I'm going to, so I should probably have read a book by her. Then we have series catch up, and I know people are going to be shocked that I haven't read this yet, and that is Heat of the Everflame by Penn Cole. But, I've been putting it off, 1, because it's freaking huge, and 2, because Burn of the Everflame is just nowhere in sight right now, and I'm saying this as I just did an author interview with Penn Cole today, like, who even am I? I'm a very cool person. But I don't want to read this until that book is coming out, so that it's, like, fresh in my mind. I'm probably going to even do a reread as it comes out, because this series is an all-time fave. Then we have BIPOC author, and I'm going with An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir because I've been wanting to read this since everyone and their mother has been talking about how good this series is. So I really need to get into it. And I only own book 1 in the indie covers, and I need to see if I can get the rest because I just like these a lot more. This girl is very badass, okay? We have series influenced by, and Neva made me buy this series because she absolutely loves these books and is obsessed. And that is Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. And I didn't finish this last year because of the SMP protest, but now that that's like gone, or we've moved past that, I want to read this. Okay, I'm very, very excited. I absolutely loved Divine Rivals. I got this a signed copy from her, and it came with like prints of the characters and all the things that are currently hanging up on my wall. So like, I need to finish this out. Then we have series with a pretty cover, and of course I'm putting Daisy Hates 2, The Great Undoing, because I need to finish these books. These books are emotionally damaging, and they wreck me each and every time that I read them, but like, I need to finish them. Then I'm putting TBR Veteran series. I'm putting Exodus by Kate Stewart because the Ravenhood trilogy as a whole has been on my TBR for years. I asked for the first book 4 years ago for Christmas, and then 3 years ago I asked for Exodus, and 2 years ago I asked for the final one. So like, I get a book a year for Christmas, so it's been that long, and I read Flock like 2.5 years ago, and I even still have content for when I was going to do a series video for that, and now I'm like, do I even put that out in the world still? I don't freaking know, but I need to continue on. Then we have self or indie published book, and I'm going with Blood and Steel by Helen Schurer. I actually read the Slaying the Shadow Prince one and absolutely ate that up, and so I'm very excited to continue on with this. I already own all 4 books in the series. Do I know if I'm gonna love them? No, but hope I do. And then as far as rep series go, I'm gonna go with City of Mirth and Malice, which is the sequel to A House of Bane and Blood that has a disability rep. The main character has a freaking metal arm. Nico is my bad boy, my king, my prince. I love him so very much. And so yeah, I need to finish that one out as well. And with that, friends, that is the series takedown TBR challenge. So if you got to the end of this, let's put fire emoji for Flame and Sparrow, or a bird or a fire emoji, and let me know, are you going to be participating in this? If you're going to, let me know. If you do any videos or TBRs on Instagram or things, please tag me. It's Rainy Blue Reads on all social media, and it's also Rainy Blue Reads here, obviously. I can't wait to see all of your TBRs once you build them. I'm very excited to move on in the world with series and get stuff done. Thank you very much to the residents in my Patreon. I love you all very much. You are all fabulous people. If you want more information on my Patreon, on all the exclusive videos and sprints and extra things that we do, the information will be underneath this video as always. And with that, I will see you guys in a video very soon. Bye!